láti Jaiz mi ló kọ́ wọn òkú ẹni tó wá láti Jaiz mi ló kọ́ wọn bóyá kẹlẹ́ gba orúkọ wọn.
UIDFS University of Ilorin. Malam Muhammad Jami Ayila Edun, Lecturer, Department of Law, College of Law, Frontage University, Osogbo. We are happy to have you here. Let's keep this in mind. Today's program is going to be an interesting one. Before we move forward, I would like to ask us, the audience, who can tell me the full meaning of UIDFS among the female? The meaning of UIDFS. Even I've mentioned it. UIDFS. Okay. And we are using this opportunity to call them to the front. Our panelists and the representative from Ibad Academy. We want to have you in the front. Representative of Ibad Academy. Also, we use the opportunity to call on representative of Sharia Lab. Next if. Now we are moving to call on our honored panelists from Jaiz Bank, Babatunde Ibrahim. Please, your seat is here in the front. Come and sit. And those that okay. And those that follow him, please, we want you to come and sit in the front.
Thank you very much.
Time is not by our side. So with that, we move to the welcome address by the Vice President of this organization, UIDFS. I would like to start with a question. Please permit me. The question goes thus: what is the value of knowledge if it never leaves the classroom? What is the value of knowledge if that knowledge never leaves the classroom? Now, let's narrow the question. Let's narrow it down. What is the benefit of studying Islamic finance if it's never transformed the way we live, we work, and we do businesses? So, I don't expect an answer from you. The answer to this question is will be given in today's program. Because our team, what's our team for this program? As an audience, you are here with us. You should know the theme of this program before coming. Who can try? What is the theme of the program you are in? What is the theme of today's program? We are expecting you to talk. If you know, you just raise up your hand and mic will be given to you. What is the theme of this program among the females? Let's talk. Shall I bring this? The theme of today's program is Beyond the Classroom, the relevance of Islamic finance across the fields. Whether you are in the department of medical science, or you are from mathematics, or any department you are from. So we need you. And Islamic, since you also you want to have money, and how can you acquire this wealth ethically? So that's the meaning of what you are here for. How can we transform this from the classroom to the real world or daily practice activity? We all engage in businesses, so we need this. It is very important for us. So I appreciate our sister who remind us the theme of this program. Thank you so much. Also, to our participants, I would like to recognize those that will come that will call from different faculties and they are here with us. From Faculty of Health Medicine, we recognize your presence. Thank you very much. From other faculties too, from Faculty of Art, we recognize your presence. From Faculty of Education, we recognize your presence, and all faculties that are here, we recognize your presence. Thank you so much for joining us for today's program. I encourage every one of you here to take note of everything that you'll be hearing from our speakers. To take note of to take out a note, receive the lecture, and ask questions at the end of the lecture. Don't forget that the weakest ink, please take note of this, the weakest ink is better than the strongest memory. Again, the weakest ink is better than the strongest memory, meaning that you should put something down. It is very important. Now, I would like to call on our president of this association, UIDFS, again, Islamic Banking and Finance Association, or Islamic Banking and Finance Society, Unilong Islamic Banking and Finance Society. The president, please let us sit right and listen to what he presented to us. Before that, we will call on our father, our doctor, to give us opening remark before moving to the president's speech. The best researcher of the year, Dr. A.O. Fam, Staff Advisor, UIDFS.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين. We give thanks to Allah, the Lord of the world. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon our noble Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his family, his companions, and all those who follow his guidance. The distinguished speaker, I believe, is still on his way, Professor Abdul Majid Alaro. The keynote speaker, Professor Abdul Wahab Muhammad Jami Election. The representative from Jaiz Bank, representatives from Next IN or Next E, representative from Ibad Academy, representative from Sharia Lab, representative from Alternative Bank, fellow distinguished students, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is my Islamic Banking and Finance Society. The MC just asked, what does IBFS means? So I'm giving you the full meaning now, like giving you expo. Happy to welcome you to UIBFS Ethicon 1.0 Conference 2026. I am delighted to see the society organizing a program devoted to the importance, the important thing from classroom to industry, the relevance of Islamic finance across fields. I want to congratulate the executive members and the entire membership of the society for conceiving and organizing this conference. I know because I was carried along in the program, I know the challenges they faced, especially to get this venue. So I want to congratulate them for coming up with this. The theme of this conference is particularly significant. The movement from the classroom to industry is not simply a movement from theory to employment. It is what I would call a transition from learning concepts to applying knowledge responsibly. The classroom provides students with principles, with theories, with methods, with analytical skills. I mean, these are things that I, as lecturer in the Department of Religions, teach in our class. But industry, however, tests whether those principles can be translated into workable solutions, effective institutions, and services that benefit society. Islamic finance is an appropriate field through which to examine this relationship. It is grounded in principles derived from the Quran, the Sunnah, and the Islamic legal and ethical tradition. We have references in the Quran that can support this. So these, when you look at these Quranic verses, they show us that economic activity in Islam is not separated from morality. Finance is not merely about profits, investment and circulation of money. It is also about justice. It is also about transparency. It is also about trust, responsibility, and the protection of the rights of all parties to transaction. Um, at the same time, the industry also needs the university. Financial institutions require research, they require innovation, they require critical evaluation. Universities can help the industry to examine whether its products and practices genuinely fulfills the objectives of the Sharia, solutions suitable for local economic conditions. It is important to emphasize that Islamic finance is not Islamic merely because Arabic names are attached to its products. Its credibility depends upon whether its operations promote justice, promotes fairness, promotes transparency, and genuine economic benefits. The challenge before students and practitioners is therefore not only to understand the forms of Islamic financial contracts, but to also understand their purposes. So since I'm not the keynote speaker, I don't want to take much of our time. I'll just say that as staff advisor, I am pleased with the effort of the society in creating this platform. I encourage the executives to ensure that the conference produces outcomes that extend beyond today's program. Many times we often see these talk shows that do not go beyond the talk. So I want you to walk the talk. I also appreciate the invited speakers and resource persons who have accepted to contribute to this conference. Your presence provides our students with an opportunity to learn from practical experience. We trust that your presentations will help them to understand the opportunities, the challenges, and ethical responsibilities associated with Islamic finance. To the executives, organizing committee, and volunteers, I commend your efforts, sacrifice, commitment. Programs of this nature, require planning, cooperation, and patience. Okay, I was telling them when we were coming in that I know that the program will not start by 10 as promised, because you are not saying that you are going to distribute 50,000 to the first 10 or things like that, right? So it's more of a volunteer kind of thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme before us invites serious reflection. How can the knowledge taught in our classrooms respond to the realities of industry? How can Islamic finance contribute meaningfully to economic development? How can graduates from different disciplines participate in its growth? How can the industry maintain its ethical identity while responding to contemporary financial challenges? I trust that the presentations and discussions at this conference will provide valuable responses to these questions. Once again, I welcome our speakers, guests, students, and members of the university community to the UIPFS Ethicon 1.0 Conference 2026. May Almighty Allah grant us beneficial knowledge, fruitful discussions, and outcomes that contribute positively to the development of Islamic finance and society. I wish everyone a successful and rewarding conference. Wabillahi tawfiq wal hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, bro. Yeah, bro. Jazakumullah khair. Yes.
When our staff advisor is talking, our professor join us, Professor Abdul Qadir, the ADA, Department of Finance, University of Iran. Please, your seat is here in the front. We recognize your presence. Thank you so much for joining us. Amanda. We recognize your presence. Thank you very much, ma'am. The president and the executive of UIBFS, they are so generous. So they inform me, or they command me to give you card free of charge. For the Airtel users, please listen. 52732708 67124538 for the Airtel users. Please, just raise up your hand if you are the. There's another gift for you, for the smartness, for your smartness. There's another gift for it. Just indicate. Should I call it again? Should I call it again? To the glorious, the lovers of our country, 66208 42418 68296. just indicate there is another gift for you. Everywhere you go, MTN users, get ready. One 8 40 61 48 4767 39 320. Give us president speech to call on our president to give us a speech. We call on our president, uh, Mashoud Abdul Rashid, President UIDFS, University of Ilorin Islamic Banking and Finance Society. Share the card. Share the card. Ṣé káàdì yẹn sáwọn èèyàn ń lò báyìí ká má dùn àjù ni.
Ẹ̀mí ò tí dúró tí mo bá lò ẹ̀wọ̀n question tó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Question
lẹ́nu ìgbà tó gbé system rẹ̀ lọ́dà system yìí ò ṣiṣẹ́.
system calculation is kí ló kàn lẹ́yìn ìwà ok citation ìwà tí wọ́n kà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀rọ kan tá ló kàn ọ̀sẹ̀ ìlú wa.
Peace of Allah be upon the noble prophet, his household, and all the followers of the prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The prophet who said in one of his words, "At-tajiru suduqu al-amin ma'an nabiyyina was-siddiqina wash-shuhada." The prophet said, "The truthful and trustworthy merchant will be with the prophets, the truthful one, and the martyrs." I recognize in accordance with due protocol our staff advisor, Dr. A. Ofam and Dr. A.T. Jima, ACA, our grand patron, Professor Abdurrazak Abdulmajid Alao, MNI, our esteemed keynote speaker, Professor Abdul Wahab Muhammad Jamil LSE, our distinguished panelists and industry professionals present here today, our lecturer and academic staff in attendance. I also recognize in absentia the Amir NSSN, University of Ilorin. I recognize leaders and representatives of our sisters association and student bodies. Specifically, I recognize the pioneer executive of Ilorin Islamic Banking and Finance Society, members of the press, and our sponsor. My fellow students and all protocol are duly observed. Good day and welcome to Ethicon 1.0, the first ethical finance conference organized by the Ilorin Islamic Banking and Finance Society, the pioneer ethical finance student society in Kwara State. On behalf of the pioneer executive, I welcome each and every one of you to this historic gathering. I must begin by acknowledging the tireless effort of my fellow pioneer executive. As the first set of executive of this society, we have carried a responsibility not just to organize an event, but to lay a foundation. And today stand as a testimony to the labor. I'm proud of every one of you. Jazakumullahu khair. I extend our profound gratitude to our staff advisor, Dr. A. Ofam and Dr. A. Tijima, for their guidance and support. And in a special way, we thank our grand patron, Professor Abdurrazak Abdulmajid Alao, for believing in our vision from its earliest day and for standing behind us as we work to bring an event of this magnitude to life. On behalf of all the executive and the member of the Islamic Banking and Finance Society, I say Jazakumullahu khairan. I must also recognize two individuals without whom UIDFS may never have existed. Our mentor, Brother Yusuf Abdulwasi, co-founder Nestive, and Brother Awesu Jamil, country coordinator Ibad Academy, Nigeria and West Africa. The idea behind funding this society was simple but powerful. Our mission stands to educate and empower individuals passionate about Islamic finance by providing access to resources, capacity building, professional engagements. We believe this is not merely an option, but a responsibility upon each of us who understand its value. There is a well-known principle among Islamic scholars. They said, "Ma la yudraku kullu, la yudraku jullu." That which cannot be attained in its entirety should not be abandoned in its entirety. In other words, we do not wait for perfect condition or complete understanding before we act. Even where full mastery of a subject is not yet attained, the effort to learn, teach, and apply what we know must never be abandoned. This principle guides our approach to Islamic finance education. We teach what we know, we grow as we do, and we do not let the pursuit of perfection delay the spread of beneficial knowledge. I want to use this medium to clarify something important. Islamic finance is not exclusive to Muslims, and it is not confined to any single faith or background, just as Islam in its universal message. Islam in its universal message addresses all of humanity. The same thing, ethical finance, likewise speak to anyone, regardless of your religion, anybody who is interested in how money and business can be conducted with transparency, fairness, and freedom from exploitation. As it is called, Islamic finance is built on principle that any rational justice-seeking mind can appreciate prohibition of interest, ensuring that wealth is not generated merely from a passage of time or from exploiting those in need, but from a genuine productive activity. And part of it is risk and profit sharing, prohibition of borrow, excessive uncertainty, asset-backed transaction, and ethical screening. These values are merely rooted in Islamic law, yet their benefit is not linked to Muslim alone. It is a universal something. Just as sound legal principles, sound accounting standards, and sound ethics benefit all who apply them. So to do this principle of Islamic finance, that is precisely why our team this year, from classroom to industry, the relevance of Islamic finance across the matters so much. Whether you are a student of law, accounting, economics, engineering, medicine, or any other discipline, Islamic finance intersects with your field in ways you may not yet realize. It is not a subject confined to a classroom. It is an engine for the ethical growth of a nation. And that engine requires the involvement of me and you. Once again, I appreciate every one of you for honoring us with your presence today. So our panelists, our guest speaker, our keynote speaker, our sponsor, and everyone who contributed in one way or another to make Ethicon 1.0 a reality. May Almighty Allah reward you abundantly. Thank you and welcome once again to Ethicon 1.0. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Please don't forget the keynote. We said the weakest ink is what is better than the strongest memory, meaning that you should put something down. The weakest ink is better than the strongest memory. Don't think you are beyond writing. Please do something down. Now we will call on our guest lecturer of today, the grand patron of this organization, UIDFS, University of Ilorin Islamic Banking and Finance Society, our father, Professor Abdulrazak Abdulmajid Alayo, member of National Institute, MNI, represented by Mala Muhammad Jami Ayla Edun, lecturer from Department of Islamic Law, College of Law, Frontier University, Osogbo. Àwọn ni guest speaker. Àwọn ni guest speaker. Lẹ́yìn wọn ni keynote speaker náà máa sọ. Okay. The president. Social event kalau actually kalau bisa. Professor Dr. Pamphlet the keynote speaker ló máa kọ́kọ́ sọ̀rọ̀. Okay, guest speaker ló máa sọ̀rọ̀ last. Professor lẹ́sìn lẹ́sìn. Ẹ máa sọ̀rọ̀ pẹ̀lú kí ni. Okay. Ẹ máa gbé pẹ̀lú. Proceed with your citation. Proceed with your citation before you come to the podium here. Please, do you permit us with that? You can sit, sir. Yeah.
وعلى بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد. As my organ and the post-profession and academics. As a lawyer, we ought to appreciate and acknowledge any lawyer. So I hereby appreciate FS, our promising students, the future leaders of our nation and the global Islamic finance, the members of press, security providers. It is my pleasure to be in your midst at this moment in order to contribute and participate in this very important event, which is presenting the keynote address and the maiden Ethnic Banking and Finance Society under the inspiring theme from classroom to industry, the relevance in socio-economic transformation in the 21st century. Before moving on, let me specifically appreciate the staff advisor, my brother, Dr. Abdul Ghaffar Far. Being somebody who has undergone the similar or the same process in various capacity. Thank you very much. May Allah reward you abundantly. Also, let me especially appreciate the president of this organization or institution for your efforts, for the following up that they have been doing. Since the beginning and back to this program, he has been calling, chatting, following up. So I know what you and your team are going through, and brothers as well. The future of Islamic finance, sorry I think I sent, I observed that it wasn't, I think I sent to somebody, I saw the person I was already before. But now I resend another one, and I think the one I sent is the lecture itself, not the slides. But by the way, we are going to speak to the paper, not reading through the paper. Let me quickly ask, who will share what is Islamic finance in the ab initio in particular? When we say Islamic finance, it is not alien or different from the conventional finance. We all know that Almighty Allah has created the human being, and in economics that they used to have, when it comes to managing assets, managing money, managing wealth, and managing property, we have majorly two classes of people. One that they used to call surplus units, and the other one they used to call them deficit units. Surplus units are those who have plenty in their hands. They have money, they have assets, they have wealth, and they have property. But for one reason or the other, they may not be able to manage those wealth, the property they have. At the other side, we have those who Almighty Allah quantify as وَمَنْ قَدِرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقُهُ. Those who Allah just to give them based on their needs, based on their daily needs. One may not meet the previous one for them, but they are very intelligent in wealth creation, in developing ideas, in managing property, but they don't have money. How are we going to bridge between these two units of the society? And we have conventional system, and likewise we have Islamic system in order to bridge and to connect the two systems together. And majorly, the great distinction, the great differences between Islamic finance and conventional finance is that the former is more ethical, is an ethical finance. Let me recognize, I think I can see some of my students from the Kwara State University. You are welcome. Thank you very much for coming, and I appreciate you. I think I saw one of them also in this morning. I recognize her by her face and also by the tag in Kwara State University. I want to believe, if not in Nigeria, at least in Kwara State, it's only the university that conform with corporate dress, white and black as a lawyer, and also carries tag that is white and black. The Faculty of Law, University of Ilorin, Barrister Edo, what was your tag in the Faculty of Law? Red. Okay, red is not known to lawyer. Barrister Abdul Majid, I think yours is even more fresher. So thank you very much for coming, and I appreciate you. Okay, thank you. I can see many of them. May Allah continue to be with you. The difference between Islamic finance and conventional finance is just as the king of Najashi, you could remember when Jafar was addressing king of Najashi in those days, when they migrated from Medina to Ethiopia, to Habasha, the Ethiopia of today, and the king Maryam from the Quran. Eventually, the king was impressed, and he said the difference between Islam and his own religion is just like this line he drew that day. The same thing Islamic finance and conventional finance. They have many things in common. Part of it is that both the two are profit-oriented institutions. Islamic financial institution is profit-oriented institution, conventional institution. And that is why they used to call Islamic finance as ethical business. Then, the The word used here is Islamic finance. Yes, it's Islamic finance. At times, the question now is who will shape the future of Islamic finance over the next 1, 2, 3 or more decades to come? Is it central bank alone? Will it be the government alone? Will it be the regulators? This is a very germane question. And why these institutions, the central bank, the regulators, all the institutions, financial institutions we know, why they are very important to Islamic finance. But we believe it will be determined by the uh, caliber of young men and women that we are facing today. The students we educate today, tomorrow will become the provider. The leadership has been emerged from individuals whose assumed responsibility while still in their youthful responsibility being shadowed by Nabiyullah Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. After many years of governance, many years of intimidation, Yusuf came up through knowledge, through competency, through the way how he utilized the opportunity. When Yusuf was eventually brought before the king, put me in the storehouse, put me in the treasury of the state, because I have knowledge and I'm also a trustworthy person. Before that, the king himself has already identified him when he said, "Ituni bihi astakhlisuhu li nafsi, ituni bihi astakhlisuhu li nafsi." فلما كلمه قال إنك اليوم لدينا مكين أمين. So this the king is said it before the use of God. Both the two align in the quality of youth who is going to shadow the leadership of Islamic finance. And eventually, Yusuf himself became the king of the Egypt. So the lessons, as we are going to see shortly, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I think we all know the history of his entrepreneurship with his wife, Allah Ta'ala anha. The
I'll check it.
From classroom to the industry, as we can say, show me the marketplace or show me the industries. So once again, I thank you very, very much. Besides this narration, beautifully illustrates exceptional character. This is what we may learn from Yusuf as well as the Messenger of Almighty Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also the history of Abdurrahman ibn Auf. What do we need as youth? Somebody who is studying in various capacity, in various disciplines today, and yearning to become a successful entrepreneur in the future. One is self-reliance. Self-reliance. Thus, Islam encourages productive entrepreneurship rather than dependency. Even though Abraham was offered to be shared with somebody's property, but he preferred to do his own entrepreneurship rather than to depend on somebody else. And we have another hadith which the Prophet said, خَيْرَ مَا أَكَلَهُ الْمَرْءُ وَأَنْ يَأْكُلَ مِنْ عَمَلِ يَدِهِ. That's the meaning of the hadith. That the best provision that somebody can consume is the one he consumes through his or her marketplace. This alone demonstrates that knowledge, opportunity, and determination. Knowledge about it, how to derive opportunity, and also determination. This is very, very important. There is one sent different people into different places. One was sent to into the same place. Sorry, they sent two people into the same place, but both the two came with different results, with different reports. They sent them to go and assess a village if there is market for shoe production. The company is producing shoe. Go to this a particular village and assess whether we can have market there. The first applicant went there and he met all the people from the village. None of them has shoe. They don't have shoe. They move without shoe. And he came back and told the company that please forget about this.